Ma'am, now what to say? Why?
She is called Abena Donko and she's 77 years. Neither Abena nor her husband battled leprosy. Rather, 3 of her children, Doris Ishan, Frank Ishan, and Rollins Ishan. Tears well up in the eyes of the 77-year-old woman anytime she sees them. The leprosy has caused Doris, 35 years, Frank, 31 years, and Rollins, 21 years, to lose all their toes and has left them with serious gaping wounds and ulcers. They are so serious that they emit extremely offensive odor and invite swarms of flies. Not even the bandages covering the wounds could stop the flies. Anthony Arthur, an enrolled nurse in the Nuyem sub-district, first identified this family in one of their case search rounds. That was 11th December 2019.
When we came, the state of the ulcer was something that I can't describe.
Try and describe to me. How were they looking?
It was very offensive, discharging, slug everywhere, with pungent smell, something like a rotten egg.
Sadly, all the 3 have developed various mental illnesses. Their mother is not only worried about the disability leprosy has caused the family, but also the stigma from the community. It is not surprising this woman and her family wish to move out of this place. They all live in a small mud house with holes in the roof, with no mat or no mattress. One of the daughters' stories.
The title of that documentary is Withered, but it's a documentary that also exposes how our public health system, sections of it, have been neglected over time. And it's also how, as a society, we've also not had empathy to people of our kind, of our type, who are afflicted with certain ailments that we've stigmatized over evolution. Well, it's not the only public health documentary that has been undertaken by award-winning journalist Seth Kwame Boateng, but we can, as a people, do something about our fellow citizens, and that's why we do what we do as media. The man himself is here, Seth Kwame Boateng. And Seth Kwame Boateng, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Roland. Good morning.
Yeah, and we know this is premiering this evening.
At 8:30. It's the first of 3-part series.
3 parts?
Yeah, 3 parts, because we need to know all about leprosy. It is a disease causing a lot of pain, making people disabled, rendering, wreaking havoc in some sections of society. And as you said, it's a neglected tropical disease we have not placed much premium on. And it's really disturbing some Ghanaians. And it will surprise you to know it's everywhere in Ghana. You might think it's something that should be peculiar or should be found only in rural areas. But here in Greater Accra, we are recording cases of leprosy, and it's contagious. That is what is making it heartbreaking and very scary.
There's a considerable aspect about how it looks like there's a certain neglect. Is that a main objective of this document?
Yeah, it's part of it, that it has been neglected and it's coming. It's affecting a lot of people, and we are recording disabilities. You know, it is treatable, it is curable when detected early. It starts as a small rash or a patch. For example, you have a dark skin, then you start seeing this red patches on your skin. You might think it's nothing, so somebody may apply a cream continuously for some time. It will not go, and it can take about 10 to 15 years for it to incubate, you understand, before it turns into proper leprosy, before it starts the disability, you understand. So you may be applying the creams and all those things, it will not go. So
you're saying that the period before the disease really manifests?
It manifests, yes.
It's a prolonged period for action to be taken.
One thing with leprosy is that when you are an active case, that is, you are at the point you can spread the disease to another person, when you are given the first antibiotics, that stops you from spreading the disease. So that makes it good. But if you don't know and you keep interacting with people, and it spreads the same way as coronavirus spreads, through saliva, touching, all those things, you understand? That is what is making it a serious issue.
There is a considerable aspect of this disease. It looks like the population that doesn't know. Did you find that out, and why?
Okay, and not even medical doctors. When I interacted with some of the program leaders, they told me not all doctors are aware or know about leprosy. So when somebody with leprosy case report, because it's a rare disease, not all of them are able to identify that really this is leprosy, so they will be treating you differently. There have been cases in some of the communities I visited. There have been people who saw some patches on them, they went to hospital, they were treated differently. So not only ordinary Ghanaians, but also even some medical doctors, they don't even know. When they see leprosy, they don't know. Because you should have specialized in the area, you should have seen it more. Because you are not seeing it more in our hospitals, some of them even don't know, and they don't know how to treat it. That makes it serious.
So it means that the early clinical aspect of detection, that ultimately leads to the diagnosis, is almost absent in our public health system.
What we are seeing on TV, what is rolling now, part of this documentary, the family we are seeing now, I understand when it started, they took them to a number of health facilities. They took them.
Over the period?
Over the period. But they never detected it was leprosy. So they came home and they started herbal treatment. And look at, now they've lost all their legs. They've been amputated, as you can see. So getting the right medical doctor or health worker to identify that this is leprosy is also key.
It's also key. So it means that from what you're saying, first, the education needs to be out there.
Exactly.
Not only within the public health system, but the general society.
Exactly.
Did you speak to the Ghana Health Service, and what did they say they were doing about it?
Yes, I spoke to the program leader of leprosy, Dr. Kwao, and they also want the media to help them educate Ghanaians more. Also, because of the stigma that comes with the disease, people with leprosy don't even want to come out. They want to hide in their rooms because of how society will see them react. So they want to cover up. and hide somewhere. So that is another issue. It could be that we have more cases, but they are not reporting. So they think if the media could join in the campaign and help people really appreciate what leprosy is and encourage that stigma is not good. You understand? Everybody should come out. It will help. And let me tell you how I got this idea will surprise you. I got this idea from the Vice President of Ghana, and he's in this documentary.
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Yes, I interviewed him in this documentary. When I came back from school after my public health
in the UK.
In the UK, my project work was on stigma, mental health stigma, and how we can use celebrities to fight stigma. When I came back, I realized that December 2018, I realized that he held a party for persons with leprosy in his house. And I was like, ooh, this one is doing something. Then 2019, it happened again. He interacted with them, called them to his house. I said, ooh, this man is fighting stigma. Maybe he's not aware. So I started my research, and I called him, I said, Your Excellency, there's something I want to do based on what you've done. What you are doing, you are fighting stigma, and I want to do something on leprosy. That was how it all came about. So I had to start my rounds and all those things. And that's how I got the idea. And I'm happy that I saw what he was doing, and that gave me the idea to come up with this.
Now, it will mean that we need to get an end insight to this. First, you're starting with this and hoping that you can generate the needed empathy out there in the general society, but also bring this to the attention of the general medical community. At the end of the day, where do we move from here after just a premiere of a documentary and it's going round?
I think that the discussion must continue. Those responsible, those who are supposed to help. So, for example, these patients, patients who have been amputated, there's something that can be done for them. You understand? The health system can help them, but we don't have that. So they can be given prosthetic legs and all those things, but we don't have that. So what can we do as a health system for these people? We have to start that discussion. In terms of education, what more can we do? So I'm using this to trigger, and I'm hopeful that as we are starting this, we're going to get others joining the campaign. We're going to get those who matter, people who matter, to join us, do more on this. So this, just to trigger the discussion that is needed to move this forward.
Now, we're going to have a premiere, and we need to be on this so that this becomes a fight for all of us. I remember 15 years, 18 years back, we had worked considerably with Reverend Father Andrew Campbell.
And he's in this documentary.
Yes, who has dedicated his life for it. When you interacted with him, why did he say we are where we are, knowing that he has started a fight for a very long time?
It's the stigma. It's this, you see, when he interacts with persons with that, in that condition or with that disease, it's like, ooh, you are weird. Oh, this disease, you are hugging them, you are touching them. It's the stigma. People are afraid. So if we are able to let people appreciate, they are just like us. It's a condition, something that can happen to you too. You wouldn't know that the person seated next to you perhaps has leprosy, and the person is active, and the person can pass it on to you. So one is the stigma. If we're able to intensify education, if we're able to do more case search, so what is helping is that now the various community health professionals, they are now moving from one community to the other, searching homes. So they go and they ask, have you seen anybody with this condition, with a skin disease? Now they're moving from schools to schools. I think that we need to help them. If we're able to resource them, it will help. You know, in Upper West, every district in Wa has leprosy case. And it is worse in Wa itself, the capital, and Laura. Yes, every district in Wa has a case of leprosy case. Every district. And in Central Region too, it's getting worse. But if we're able to resource our health professionals, if we're able to train them well, if we're able to convince more people to go into that field, I think it is going to help us. Now we have just a handful of them who are specializing in this area, and we need more of them to join so that we can do more of the case search in other parts of the country.
A considerable aspect of the data that is needed is always missing in our public health system. What did you find out in that?
It's the same. Current data on this is not available. I think they have data up to, is it 2015? Current data is difficult to come by because we are not getting the true picture of how it is, but in the district coordinators are doing their best. We have district coordinators in every part of the country, so they try and gather data and send to the national office. But the national data is difficult to come by. But the program leaders are doing their best, and in the coming years, hopefully things will change.
Well, the documentary is premiering, and we're hoping that we can get the needed attention for people to influence the mindset of the general society. Exactly. And ultimately, we'll have some needed attention. Okay. The last question I would want to ask you before we move on is, at the onset, one, is it infectious? And then when it gets to the stage where it's manifest, is it also infectious?
It's infectious. And if I'm an active case, if I have leprosy and I'm still active, that is the bacteria in me is still alive, I can pass it on to you. But the moment I'm giving the first shot, you understand, I cease to spread the disease. One. And somebody, if the disease takes its full course, that is, it affects me, it causes disability, and the disabilities this disease can cause are irreversible. So you lose all your fingers, you lose your toes, and when it happens to your eye, you lose your eye, it causes blindness and everything. You understand? If the disease can take its full course, cause all the disabilities, then it ceases. You can't pass it on after it's taking the full course. So that's why they are saying that if you're able to search early, now doctors are more concerned about the disabilities that it's causing. Imagine, look at this family. All the 3 children of this woman lost their legs. Now, look at this woman, 70 years. What work can she do to help this to help the children? That is why they want us to raise the awareness so that we can stop the disabilities. When you watch the documentary, you find another woman, almost 80 years, and she's lost the fingers, the toes. Now, she has only the 2 big toes left. Imagine. But we can stop this if we saw the cases early and we treated.
One more question came to mind. So we'll wrap up on this. How do we measure, or how are we performing with other African countries to the global stage in terms of the West and then the developed Eastern countries? Well,
Ghana is still doing well, even though we are having cases. But when you speak to public health experts, they will tell you it should not even be happening. It should not be, even if it's less than 1%, it should not even be happening. Even though there are countries who have more figures, they are telling us that it should not be happening. And because it is a neglected tropical disease, they think we've not placed much premium on, and it is time that we give it the needed attention so that we can stop some of these things. So Ghana is not doing badly, but we can do better.
Seth Kwame Boateng, award-winning journalist, was one-time Journalist of the Year, as again chosen by the GJA panel. And we have to say that again, this one is going to be a trailblazer. We have to say congratulations to you in the meantime, but we're hoping that all of us can influence society for the many other things that we want to do. Seth Kwame Boateng, somebody who is also a specialist in public health and health journalism. Well, this documentary is premiering this evening. He tells me 8:30. Seth, I'm right?
Yeah, 8:30.
8:30 sharp. And you can get it on the screen. So free to air, we're available. DSTV, we're available. GoTV, we're available. And then ultimately, I tell you, on social media, just in case you can't be in front of the screen physically, virtually, you can watch while just sitting in your car or taking that drink at a friend's place, whatever. Get onto social media. We have JoyNews on TV. We have a Twitter handle at JoyNews on TV. We have JoyNews TV, which is on YouTube. And myjoyline.com gives you all the links to all of these, where you can watch it in real time. As we wait for that 8:30 premiere of Withered, we have to